Microplastics in human blood. Microplastics have been found circulating in human blood, meaning these tiny plastic particles are traveling throughout our bodies, potentially affecting organs and tissues in ways we still don't fully understand. This discovery is a stark reminder that no part of our body is untouched by plastic pollution. Unborn babies exposed to microplastics have been found in human placentas, meaning that unborn babies are already contaminated with plastic while developing in the womb. These particles can interfere with fetal development, posing unknown risks to the next generation before they even take their first breath. Microplastics in breast milk. Researchers have discovered microplastics in human breast milk, raising grave concerns about the exposure of newborns to these harmful particles. Breast milk, once considered a natural safeguard, now carries the risk and capacity of plastic pollution to the most vulnerable members of society. Deep ocean contamination. Microplastics have been found in the deepest parts of the ocean, including the Mariana Trench, the deepest known point on Earth. This means that not even the most remote, untouched ecosystems are safe from plastic pollution. Microplastics infiltrating the farthest corners of our planet. Microplastics in drinking water. Microplastics have been detected in both bottled and contaminated water worldwide. No matter where you are, chances are you're consuming plastic particles every time you drink plastic water, adding yet another source of pollution to the human body. No matter where you are, chances are you're consuming plastic particles every time you drink plastic water, adding yet another source of pollution to the human body.
Premature deaths. Over 7 million deaths annually. The World Health Organization, WHO, estimates that air pollution causes over 7 million premature deaths each year. This makes it one of the leading causes of mortality worldwide. Shortened lifespans. In highly polluted areas, air pollution can reduce average life expectancy by several years, sometimes comparable to the impact of smoking. Impact on children. Developmental harm. Children exposed to air pollution are at risk of stunted brain development, leading to reduced cognitive abilities and behavioral disorders. High infant mortality. Polluted air is linked to around 20% of all neonatal deaths worldwide, particularly in regions with poor air quality. Asthma and allergies. Air pollution is a major trigger for asthma, which affects millions of children globally. Silent killer indoors. Indoor air pollution kills 3.2 million annually. Sources like cooking with solid fuels, wood, coal, dung, and secondhand smoke are major contributors, particularly in low-income households. Widespread exposure. 99% of the world's population breathes polluted air, through reports that almost everyone is exposed to levels of air pollution exceeding safe limits. Cities as hotspots. Many major cities around the world consistently record air quality indices, AQIs, in the hazardous range, making the air unsafe for all residents. Environmental devastation. Global warming accelerator. Air pollutants like black carbon and methane contribute to climate change, exacerbating environmental degradation and extreme weather events. Ocean damage. Airborne pollutants like mercury settle into water bodies, contaminating seafood and ecosystems. Economic costs. Trillions in costs. Air pollution causes economic losses of over $8.1 trillion annually, equivalent to 6.1% of global GDP, due to healthcare costs, reduced labor productivity, and crop losses. Lost productivity. Workers in polluted areas often experience diminished productivity due to health issues and reduced physical capacity. Linked to mental health, depression, and anxiety. Studies have found strong links between air pollution and mental health disorders, including depression, anxiety, and even suicide risk. Inequality. Disproportionate impact. Marginalized communities, particularly in developing countries, suffer the most from air pollution, lacking resources to mitigate its effects or access clean alternatives. Climate refugees. Severe air pollution, combined with climate change, is forcing communities to relocate. Pollution's role in the global pandemic worsened COVID-19 outcomes. Poor air quality is linked to increased severity and mortality in respiratory diseases, including COVID-19. Long-term exposure to pollution exacerbates vulnerability. Animal and ecosystem harm. Wildlife deaths. Toxic air pollutants pollutants harm animals, causing respiratory problems, reproductive issues, and even extinction risks for sensitive species. Forest damage. Acid rain, a byproduct of air pollution, depletes soil nutrients and destroys plant life. Particulate matter, PM 2.5. Inescapable threat. Fine particulate matter, PM 2.5, penetrates deep into the lungs and bloodstream, causing severe respiratory, cardiovascular, and neurological conditions. No safe level. Recent studies indicate there is no safe level of exposure to PM 2.5. Even minimal amounts can have harmful health effects. Persistent pollutants. Forever chemicals in the air. Pollutants like dioxins and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, remain in the atmosphere and ecosystems for decades.
PFAS are often called forever chemicals because they do not break down naturally. Once released into the environment, they can remain there for centuries, contaminating water, soil, and air. Widespread contamination. PFAS have been found in drinking water supplies across the globe, affecting millions of people. They have contaminated lakes, rivers, and groundwater, making it difficult to control or eliminate their spread. Bioaccumulation and human animals. These chemicals can accumulate in the tissues of living organisms, including humans. This means that even small exposures can build up over time, leading to higher concentrations and increased risk of health problems. Adverse health effects. Exposure to PFAS is linked to serious health issues such as cancer. Studies have shown a potential connection to certain types of cancer, including kidney and testicular cancer. Hormonal disruption. PFAS can interfere with endocrine function, potentially leading to reproductive issues, developmental problems in children, and thyroid dysfunction. Immune system suppression. Research indicates that PFAS may reduce the body's ability to fight off infections, and some studies have shown a decrease in vaccine efficacy. Liver damage. Long-term exposure can result in liver damage and increased cholesterol levels, prenatal and developmental concerns. PFAS exposure during pregnancy can pass through the placenta, leading to potential developmental issues in fetuses, including low birth weight, skeletal variation, and developmental delays. Present in everyday products, PFAS are found in a wide range of consumer products, including non-stick cookware, water-repellent clothing, stain-resistant fabrics, and even food packaging. This widespread use increases the risk of exposure to daily activity. Regulatory challenges. Regulating PFAS is complicated due to their varied chemical structures. Thousands of PFAS compounds exist, and regulatory frameworks often target only a few specific types, leaving others largely unregulated and unchecked. Costly remediation. Cleaning up PFAS contamination is extremely expensive and technically challenging. Conventional water treatment methods are often ineffective, requiring advanced and costly solutions such as activated carbon filters or reverse osmosis. Detection in human blood. Nearly every person in industrialized nations has detectable levels of PFAS in their blood. This widespread presence suggests that exposure is nearly universal, with potential cumulative health impacts. Impact on wildlife. PFAS have been found in wildlife far from sources of pollution, including polar bears and other Arctic animals. This demonstrates their ability to travel long distances through water and air, impacting ecosystems globally.
The Industrial Revolution heralded an era of unprecedented innovation. Coal, oil, and natural gas became the lifeblood of progress, fueling industries, transportation, and growth. Yet these same advancements release vast quantities of carbon dioxide, an invisible pollutant now reshaping the planet. Physical science. Carbon dioxide traps heat within the Earth's atmosphere. It absorbs solar radiation and prevents heat from escaping into space. This enhanced greenhouse effect disrupts the planet's equilibrium, leading to an inexorable rise in global temperatures. The Paris Agreement. Recognizing the dire consequences of unchecked warming, the international community established the Paris Agreement. Its goal, limit warming to 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, striving for 1.5 degrees Celsius. Beyond these thresholds, threshold. The wet bulb temperature at 35 degrees Celsius with 100% humidity, the human body can no longer dissipate heat through perspiration. Prolonged exposure at this limit is lethal, and certain regions are already nearing these conditions. Albedo and ice loss. As ice melts, Earth's albedo diminishes. Glaciers and polar caps, once reflective surfaces that deflected solar energy, are replaced by darker ocean and land masses that absorb heat. This loss amplifies warming, creating a feedback loop that accelerates climate change. Ocean circulation. The polar regions are also critical to the thermohaline circulation. Cold, dense water sinks at the poles, driving deep ocean currents that regulate global weather systems and distribute heat. As ice sheets melt, freshwater influx disrupts these currents, weakening their flow and destabilizing weather patterns worldwide. Atmospheric climate systems, polar winds, such as the polar vortex and the jet stream, are pivotal drivers of atmospheric circulation. These systems guide weather patterns, regulate seasonal shifts, and maintain balance between the tropics and the poles. As polar regions warm, these winds weaken and meander, causing erratic weather. Cold air spills southward, while heat surges into the Arctic, destabilizing climates far from the pole. Extreme weather events. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, warns of a heightened probability of extreme weather events under continued warming. These include hurricanes of greater intensity, prolonged droughts, catastrophic flooding, and heat waves of unprecedented severity. Such events result from the increased energy within Earth's atmosphere and oceans, fueling storms, altering rainfall patterns, and intensifying heat extremes. Conclusion: the trajectory of climate change presents humanity with a stark challenge. The interconnected systems of ice, ocean, and atmosphere are unraveling under the weight of human activity. The future remains uncertain, shaped by choices yet to be made. Whether this path leads to collapse or transformation depends entirely on our collective action or inaction.
Loss of biodiversity, extinction of species. Approximately 80% of the world's terrestrial animals and plants live in forests. Deforestation can wipe out entire species, especially in biodiversity-rich rainforests. An estimated 137 species of plants, animals, and insects are lost every day due to rainforest destruction. Habitat destruction. Forest loss disrupts ecosystems, causing species to migrate or die off when they can't adapt quickly enough to changes. Contribution to climate change. Increased carbon emissions. Forests act as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. When trees are cut down and burned or left to decay, the carbon stored is released back into the atmosphere, contributing to global warming. Deforestation accounts for about 10 to 15% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Altered weather patterns. Forests play a critical role in regulating the water cycle. Their removal can lead to drier climates and less rainfall, which disrupts local and global weather patterns. Impact on indigenous communities. Loss of livelihoods. Millions of indigenous people depend directly on forests for their sustenance and cultural practices. Deforestation forces these communities to abandon their traditional lifestyles, leading to poverty and cultural loss. Displacement. Logging, mining, and agricultural expansion displace indigenous communities, stripping them of their land and rights. Soil erosion and degradation. Loss of fertile soil. Trees anchor the soil in place. When they are removed, rain washes the exposed soil away, leading to land degradation. This can result in a permanent loss of arable land, increased risk of floods. The absence of trees means less absorption of rainwater, which can result in increased runoff and severe flooding. Threats to global water resources. Disruption of water cycles. Forests contribute to the formation of clouds and the precipitation cycle. When they are cut down, the balance is disturbed, affecting local and global water sources. Diminished freshwater supplies. The removal of forests near major rivers can reduce the volume of water available for human consumption and leading to potential water scarcity. Economic consequences. Short-term gains, long-term losses. While deforestation can bring short-term economic benefits through timber sales and land clearing for agriculture, the long-term losses include reduced ecosystem services like pollination and clean air, which have an incalculable cost. Health impacts. The release of pollutants during deforestation, e.g., from slash and burn agriculture, can contribute to respiratory illnesses in local populations, accelerating desertification. Land degradation. Deforestation in semi-arid areas can transform fertile land into deserts. This process, known as desertification, render land useless for agriculture and habitation, pushing affected populations into poverty. Disruption of global ecological balances. Forest-dependent climate regulation. Forests, especially tropical rainforests like the Amazon, are referred to as the lungs of the earth because of their role in oxygen production and CO2 absorption. Their removal jeopardizes the planet's capacity to maintain its ecological balance. climate alteration, the absence of forests can change local microclimate, leading to shifts that harm crops, water supplies, and animal life. Escalation of zoonotic diseases. Pathogen transfer. Deforestation brings humans into closer contact with wildlife, increasing the risk of disease transmission from animals to humans. The destruction of habitats can stress animals and force them into human-populated areas, contributing to the rise of zoonotic diseases, e.g., certain viruses linked to deforestation outbreaks. Global economic impact. Cost of ecosystem services. It is estimated that deforestation leads to the loss of ecosystem services valued at trillions of dollars annually. This includes the natural benefits provided by forests such as air and water purification, climate regulation, and natural disaster mitigation.